Picture this. It's your first weekend in Dublin. You've just finished a night out, you walk into a brightly lit chipper for some food, and you confidently hold out your phone to tap and pay. The vendor just shakes his head and taps a handwritten piece of cardboard taped to the register. It says, "Cash only." Suddenly, you're patting down your pockets while a very long, very hungry line of locals stares at the back of your head. A lot of international students make the exact same miscalculation when they land here. You see that Ireland hosts the European headquarters for the world's biggest tech companies, and you naturally assume you will never need to touch a physical coin. That assumption walks you right into the 2026 Irish payment paradox. You can use your phone to pay rent or buy a laptop, but your digital wallet will fail you in the exact social settings that make up your weekend. Navigating daily life in Ireland requires a strategic physical currency backup. A fully loaded Apple Pay account will not help you at the counter if you do not know the rules on the round. To understand why this happens, look at the Central Bank of Ireland. The government actively protects the country's physical cash infrastructure. Under the Finance Act of 2025, retail banks are legally obligated to keep ATMs running within strict regional distances. The goal is to ensure physical notes remain in circulation across every county. This chart outlines the gap between government policy and daily reality. On the left side, the law guarantees your access to ATMs, but on the right, under Irish contract law, what happens at the checkout is entirely the merchant's choice. If a shopkeeper displays a card-only or cash-only notice before you order, they have set the terms of the transaction. They possess the absolute legal right to refuse your preferred payment type. The legislation ensures you can pull euro notes out of a machine, but it offers zero consumer protection or guarantees when you actually stand at the till. If you stick to the major high streets in Dublin or Cork, you can tap for almost everything. The friction starts when you step off the main retail strips and into traditional service sectors. This quadrant chart plots out your cash risk across the country. Small businesses face terminal rental costs and transaction fees that eat directly into their tight profit margins, pushing them away from digital payments. The highest risks fall precisely where students spend their time. Traditional barbershops frequently operate without any card terminal, and that late-night independent chipper after a pub run is almost certainly operating on a cash-only basis. You will also need cash for weekend events. At places like the artisan stalls in Cork's English Market, a €6 loaf of bread is sold on margins too thin to absorb processing fees. Then there are infrastructure constraints. If you head to a local GAA match at a rural sports ground, you will find the entry gates are cash-only, simply because a crowd of 3,000 people overwhelms the local mobile phone towers, taking the card machines offline. The reliance on physical notes is heavily concentrated in the exact sectors that define your weekend social life in Ireland. You can avoid an awkward conversation at the till by reading the environment before you get in line. If you do not see a card terminal sitting next to the register, or there are no contactless Wi-Fi stickers on the window, ask first. Another dead giveaway is the price board. If a barbershop lists a haircut at a flat €15 on a chalkboard, expect to hand over a note. Many arriving students make a costly tactical error before they even leave their home airport by picking up crisp €100 or €200 notes from a foreign exchange desk. Those large notes are completely useless at small Irish vendors. A market stall owner cannot break a €100 note for a €4 coffee, and many independent shops flat out refuse them because of the risk of counterfeiting. Build the habit of looking for payment signs and walk straight into a bank branch to break large bills into 10s and 20s the moment you land. During your first week in Ireland, before your local bank account is set up, you should pull out a buffer of €200 to €300. How you get that cash determines how much you lose to hidden charges. This flowchart maps your options for getting euros. On the far left, supermarket cashback is entirely free. In the middle, standard bank ATMs offer fair rates for international cards. On the right, private standalone ATMs charge heavy flat fees. Those private machines will also hit you with dynamic currency conversion, or DCC. The screen asks if you want to be charged in your home currency, presenting it as a helpful convenience. It's a trap that bakes in an additional 3 to 5% markup. The absolute rule for using any ATM or card reader in Ireland is to always hit decline conversion. Always choose to process the payment in euros. Once you have your euros, you might notice a budgeting trend making a comeback among students dealing with high living costs: cash stuffing. By physically dividing a weekly cash budget into groceries, transport, and social events, you remove the cognitive load of tracking digital transactions. You can see exactly what is left, preventing you from accidentally tapping away money meant for next week's rent. Mastering the Irish ATM network and handling physical currency is a critical defensive measure to protect a tight student budget from 1,000 tiny cuts. The vast majority of your major expenses, like rent and supermarket shops, will be handled digitally. However, physical currency will remain a localized necessity. This chart outlines the 2026 hybrid wallet protocol. You use fintech apps for the heavy lifting while maintaining a dedicated physical cash buffer. Plan to withdraw between 20 and 40 euros weekly, specifically for local gigs, street taxis, and market food. Even if you rarely leave the university campus and pay for almost everything with your phone, you still need to carry a handful of coins to hit minimum spend limits at independent coffee shops. Adopting this hybrid approach blocks the financial leakage from predatory ATM exchange rates and entirely eliminates the social embarrassment of being caught empty-handed at a busy counter. If you do get stuck at a till with the wrong payment method during your first few days, do not stress. Making a financial misstep is a standard rite of passage for almost every newcomer arriving in Dublin. Sorting out your wallet is just step one. Setting up a life in a new country requires planning out visas, housing, and finding the right flight routes before the semester starts. Go to myflightoffers.com to access our complete, in-depth guides tailored for international students settling in Ireland, and use our tools to book the cheapest flight fares for 2026. If this breakdown helped you out, hit the like button, share it with anyone else heading to Ireland this year, and subscribe to our channel to help other arriving students navigate the system. Getting your payment strategy locked down before you land ensures your arrival feels less like a scramble and more like a confident start.